Sorry I'm late. I had to make dinner. I ended up coming home from work later than I thought. So I did it down and left something behind. Luckily, I was only a stop away. Oh, goodness, I'm thirsty. Whew, okay. Where did I put my... Oh, there it is. All right. Well, with ugh, with the Stitch being in view, I think I will get started because I gotta go to bed, but I want to get this chapter done. Anyway, um, I did make a bookmark for myself. I like making these. Um, yeah, this is a little bookmark that I like to make. Oh, hi, Rhea. Or Ender. I'm gonna try calling her Ender. She seems to respond to that one more. Plus, that one's been stuck in my head for a while. Ender, what's up, baby? Hi. Are you saying hi to mamas? But yeah, anyway, I ended up coming home later than expected, and then I had to make dinner. Anyway, here is the art at the start of chapter 2. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. This book is very beautifully illustrated. All right. Without any further ado, let us start. Let us read chapter 2. Oh, and once again, the book is by Robin Wall Kimmerer. In a Serviceberry economy, I accept the gift from the tree and then spread that gift around, with a dish of berries to my neighbor, who makes a pie to share with his friend, who feels so wealthy in food and friendship that he volunteers at the food pantry. You know how it goes. In contrast, if I were to buy a basket of berries in a market economy, the relationship ends with the exchange of money. Once I hand over my credit card, I have no further exchange with the clerk or the store. We're done. I own these berries now, and I can do with them as I like. The clerk, the corporation, and I, the customer, have a strictly material transaction. There is no making of community, only a trading of commodities. Rhea, what you doing? Are you playing with your toy? This is Rhea's favorite toy right now that she's currently playing with. Oh, what's that, honey? Oh, you're gonna play with it? Anyway, so sorry if the noise of her playing with it is bothering y'all. All right. There is no making of community, only a trading of commodities. Think of how strange but wonderful it would feel if you met the clerk on the street and they asked for your recipe for serviceberry pie. That would be out of bounds. But if those berries were a gift, you'd probably still be chatting. To name the world as gift is to feel your membership in the web of reciprocity. It makes you happy, and it makes you accountable. Conceiving of something as a gift changes your relationship to it in a profound way, even though the physical makeup of the thing has not changed. A woolly knit hat that you purchase at the store will keep you warm regardless of its origin. But if it was hand knit by your favorite auntie, then you are in relationship to that thing in a very different way. You are responsible for it, and your gratitude has motive force in the world. You're likely to take much better care of the gift hat than of the commodity hat because the gift hat is knit of relationships. This is the power, sorry, this is the power of gift thinking. I imagine if we acknowledged that everything we consume is the gift of Mother Earth, we would take better care of what we are given. I was once giving a lecture at the College of Natural Resources at a big, prestigious university. I took the opportunity to interrogate that name because, after all, natural resources does mean raw materials can be converted into something we value. As it happens, that college was in the process of changing its name, given its extractive implications. So I offered a suggestion. Why don't you change your name to the Department of Earthly Gifts? You should have seen the beatific smiles that went around the room. Oh, yes, people said with palpable yearning. We want to work for the Department of Earthly Gifts. But, of course, they chose something else. It's a beautiful idea, a colleague told me later, but it would kind of put the kibosh on grinding up trees. Mistreating a gift has emotional and ethical gravity, as well as ecological resonance. For example, I'm thinking of a spring I know, where the water is icy cold and gushes out of the ground. It almost makes you dizzy with its cold vitality. I drink from my cupped hands, splash, splash my face, and fill my canteen for later. Isn't this how water was meant to be? Free and pure? It feels like a gift to me. The life of that water became my life, and my joy in its presence. Gift thinking means that, in gratitude for the drink, I'll clean the leaves from the bottom of the pool and take care not to muddy the edges. I care for the gift so it can keep on giving. But if I mistreated that spring by peeing in it or by damming up water that belongs to itself and selling it off, the consequences would be an emotional breach as well as the ruination of the water quality. I'd feel as dirty as the water. It's a gut punch to even imagine someone claiming to own it. But that moral sense does not constrain an economy that views water as a commodity, property to be bought and sold. It seems absurd to me that someone could own water, a free gift that falls like the proverbial manna from heaven. Could you sell manna without spiritual jeopardy? I don't think so. How we think ripples out to how we behave. If we view these berries or that spring as an object, as property, it can be exploited as a commodity in a market economy. When something moves from the status of gift to the status of commodity, we can become detached from mutual responsibility. We know the consequences of that detachment. Why then have we permitted the dominance of economic systems that commoditize everything, that create scarcity instead of abundance, that promote accumulation rather than sharing? We've surrendered our values to an economic system that actively harms what we love. Our metrics of economic value, like GDP, count only monetary value in the marketplace of that which can be bought and sold. There is no room in these equations for the economic value of clean air and sequin, blah, sequestration and the ineffable riches of a forest filled with birdsong. Where is the value of a butterfly whose species has prospered for millennia that lives nowhere else on the planet? There is no formula complex enough to hold the birthplace of stories. It pains me to know that an old growth forest is worth far more as lumber than as the lungs of the earth. And yet I am harnessed to this economy in ways large and small. yoked to pervasive extraction. I'm wondering how we fix that. And I'm not alone. Wow, that was actually quite short. Um, well, here's the art at the end of chapter 2. Let's see. How long is chapter 3? Let me look. Oh, that's not too long either. You know what? I'll read chapter 3. So I guess this will be chapter 2 and 3. There was no art at the beginning of this one. So let me. There we go. Hi, Miss Maria. Did you have fun playing with your toy? Okay, so chapter 3 of the Serviceberry. Because I'm a botanist, my knowledge of economics and finance is about the size of the frilly little cup at the tip of a Juneberry that was once part of the flower. It's called the calyx, in case you were craving a delicious new word, the way some people crave money. My fluency in the lexicon of berries does not easily extend to economics, so I wanted to revisit the conventional meaning of economics to compare it with my understanding of the gift economy of nature. What is economics for, anyways? The answer to that question depends a lot on who you ask. On their website, the American Economic Association says, quote, "It's it's the study of scarcity, the study of how people use resources and respond to incentives." End quote. My son-in-law, Dave, teaches high school economics, and the first principle his students learn is that economics is about decision making in the face of scarcity. Anything and everything in a market is implicitly defined as scarce. With scarcity as the main principle, the mindset that follows is based on commodification of goods and services. I'm way past high school, but I'm not sure I grasp that thinking. So I fill a bowl with fresh service berries for my friend and colleague, Dr. Valerie Luzadis. She is an appreciator of earthly gifts and a professor and past president of the U.S. Society for Ecological Economics. Ecological economics is a growing field that integrates Earth's natural systems and human values and ethics into conventional economic theory. Valerie prefers to define economics as, quote, "how we organize ourselves to sustain life and enhance its quality. It's a way of considering how we provide for ourselves." End quote. I like that better. The words ecology and economy come from the same root, the Greek oikos, meaning home or household, i.e., the systems of relationship, the goods and services that keep us alive. The system of market economics that we are given as a default is hardly the only model out there. Anthropologists have observed and shared multiple cultural frameworks colored by very different worldviews on how we provide for ourselves. As the berries plunked into my bucket, I was thinking about what I'd do with them all. I'd drop some off for friends and neighbors, and I'd certainly fill the freezer for Juneberry muffins in February. This problem of deciding what to do with abundance reminds me of a report shared by Lewis Hyde in his essential book, The Gift, that linguist Daniel Everett wrote as he was learning from a hunter gatherer community in the Brazilian rainforest. He observes that a hunter had brought home a sizable kill, far too much to be eaten by his family. The researcher asked how he would store the excess. Smoking and drying technologies were well known. Storing was possible. The hunter was puzzled by the question: store the meat? Why would he do that? Instead, he sent out an invitation to a feast, and soon the neighboring families were gathered around his fire until every last morsel was consumed. This seemed like maladaptive behavior to the anthropologist, who asked again Given the uncertainty of meat in the forest, why didn't the hunter store the meat for himself? Which is what the economic system of his home culture would predict. Store my meat? I store my meat in the belly of my brother, replied the hunter. I feel a great debt to this unnamed teacher for these words. There beats the heart of gift economies, an antecedent, antecedent alternative to market economies, another way of organizing ourselves to sustain life. In a gift economy, wealth is understood as having enough to share, and the practice for dealing with abundance is to give it away. In fact, status is determined not by how much one accumulates, but by how much one gives away. The currency in a gift economy is relationship, which is expressed as gratitude, as interdependence, and the ongoing cycles of reciprocity. A gift economy nurtures the community bonds that enhance mutual well being. The economic unit is we rather than I, as all flourishing is mutual. Anthropologists characterize gift economics as systems of exchange in which goods and services circulate without explicit expectations of direct compensation. Scientist and philosopher Marshall Stallings names generalized reciprocity as the heart of a gift economy, which functions most effectively in small, close-knit communities. Those who have those who have give to those who don't, so that everyone in the system has what they need. It is not regulated from above, but derives from a collective sense of equity in enoughness and accountability in distributing the gifts of the earth. Sacred Economics, Charles Eisenstein states, quote, gifts cement the mystical realization of participation in something greater than oneself, which yet is not separate from oneself. The axioms of rational self-interest change because the self has expanded to include something of the other, end quote. If the community is flourishing, then all within it will partake the same abundance, or shortage, that nature provides. In a gift economy, the currency in circulation is gratitude and connection rather than goods or money. A gift economy includes a system of social and moral agreements for indirect reciprocity rather than a direct exchange. So, the hunter who shares with you today could well anticipate that you would share from a full fish net or offer your labor in repairing a boat in the future. The prosperity of the community grows from the flow of relationships, not the accumulation of goods. When the natural world is understood as a gift instead of private property, there are ethical constraints on the accumulation of abundance that is not yours to own. Gifts are not meant to be hoarded and thus made scarce for others, but given away, which generates sufficiency for all. Gift economies, from the informal to highly ritualized protocols, are known from the traditional indigenous communities around the world. A gathering of our Pota- Potawatomi people often include a giveaway, a ceremony meant to reinforce relationships through gift giving. In the Western world, someone celebrating a life event might expect to receive gifts, but in our way, the equation is reversed. The ones who have been blessed with good fortune share that blessing by giving away. Well-known examples of gift economies include the potlatches of Pacific Northwest peoples, in which gifts circulate in the group redistributing wealth, situations in which possessions are given away with lavish generosity to mark meaningful life events. The ceremonial feasts display the wealth of the givers, enhance their prestige, and affirm connections with a web of relations. The gifts received are likely to be given away at the next ceremony, keeping wealth in motion and cementing mutual bonds. This ritualized redistribution of wealth was banned by colonial governments under the influence of missionaries in the 1800s. Potlatches were seen as contrary to the civilized values of accumulation and undermine the notions of individual property and advancement essential to assimilation in the colonial agenda. These traditional values of relationship and reciprocity continue to resonate in contemporary indigenous economics, as Dr. Ronald Trosper, a Salish economist, has documented in his book Indigenous Economics: Sustaining Peoples and Their Lands. Making good relationships with the human and more than human world is the primary currency of well-being. These relational values shape current agreements regarding a diversity of tribal economic needs, from timber to salmon. The questions of land as moral responsibility and land as commodity are sometimes contested in the headlines. Trosper tells the story of how making relationships led to the historic intertribal agreements for the U.S. government to protect the cultural landscape of the Bears Ears as the first tribally focused national monument. 5 different tribes nurtured relationships with the federal government to forever protect an earthly gift to be held in common. This was a transformative step toward healing a long history of colonial taking. That hopeful model of indigenous economics was abruptly curtailed when Donald Trump reversed the decision and instead conveyed rights to those sacred lands to a private uranium mining company. It took an election to reverse it. The economic contest between colonial and indigenous currencies did not end with the buffalo. These two economic worldviews of prosperity gained through individual accumulation and prosperity gained through sharing of the commons underpin the history of colonization in this country. The whole enterprise of dispossession and assimilation of the original peoples was designed to eradicate the notion of land as a source of belonging and to replace it with the idea that land is nothing more than a source of belongings. This required a narrowing of the definition of well-being from commonwealth to individual wealth, from abundance to scarcity. You don't have to participate in a potlatch to experience the gift economy. When you open your awareness and give them a name, you can see gift economies all around you. And that was chapter 3. Here is some beautiful art at the end of the chapter. Because I need to go to bed and eat dinner, I will, let's see, something tells me chapter 4 is a bit longer in it. Yeah, it is a little bit longer. I will stop at chapter 3. Nice short one for you guys. Hopefully, thank you, Peach. Oh, you make music. I need to see your music. Oh, and here comes Rhea or Ender. I need to. What are you doing? Oh, are you playing with your toy? Hopefully the sound of her toy didn't cover up the sound of my reading too terribly. What are you doing, crazy? Or are you gonna lick your paw now? Yep. You gotta lick your paw. She always seems so like energetic at night. I don't know how the hell she like sleeps on my bed with me anymore. What you doing? Hi. She's looking at me. Who's my baby? Are you my baby? Are you my baby? What? What are you doing? What are you doing, crazy? What are you doing? There was one time when, not last night, but the night before, she kept attacking my butt for some reason. Well, thank you so much, and also Peach, I saw your comment about her being cute. She is. She's my baby Ender. She Whenever I say Ender, sometimes she tends to look at me more often when I say Ender than Rhea. So I don't know. I think she likes it. Plus, I might like make a little. Okay, so my plan is to take this bed and raise it up in like a little loft bed, and then underneath have like the cat area. So I might put some Minecraft theme stuff in her little area underneath the bed. I want like a shorter loft bed though, maybe like I don't know, like 4 feet tall or something. Because like I don't want to sleep like too high up, but also I want to provide enough room for her to like hang out. Who knows? Maybe while I'm at work, once I have that set up, I'll just have a live stream going on like my Twitch or something where people can watch her all day while I'm at work. Anyway, with a few minutes to a half hour, I think I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you everyone who watched. When the VOD comes up, for those who watch the VOD, be sure to comment your thoughts, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, do all the stuff the algorithm likes. And yeah, I think I might try and do this at the end of every workday. I usually come home, let's see, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around 11ish is probably when I'll be streaming. Just to give me something to do and give y'all something to watch and listen to. After the Serviceberry, I might go to the library and check out another book. There was one on Neanderthals that caught my interest about how they sequence the genome. I've also been doing a lot of ancestor work lately, and I felt called to one of the Celtic gods recently. So who knows? Maybe I'll read some Irish stuff for you guys. I think I might have a book somewhere about Irish stories and lore. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time. That was chapter 3 and 4 of The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And here's the back of the book. It's very beautiful. Hi, honey. Are you going to sniff my book? Are you sniffing my book? Yeah? Is it a good book? Do you like it? Does it smell good? Yeah, it's a good book, huh? It's a good book. Oh, and now no, you do not need to eat my bookmark. Nice try. All right. Well, with Rhea staring. Rhea, Ender, look over here. Hi, you looking at the camera now? Oh, you're looking at my fingies behind the camera. Yeah. Hi, Ender. Oh, are you gonna hop on my piano bench where I'm having my phone? Okay, baby. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see y'all again soon with next time it'll be chapter 4. Night.